to the Social Life Podcast. I am Deanna Miller. That's me, Deanna Miller. Yay! I know.
Applause.
Where's my cue
Applause.
person? Where's yay?
That's what we need, audio guru. We need a clapping track.
Yay! Deanna's here.
The crowd goes wild.
So I'm Deanna Miller. This is the Social Life Podcast. With me, as always, is Nate Imhoff.
Hello.
Hello, creative director.
Let's do this.
All right. So we have a bunch of I have had a bunch of ideas and some serious inspiration. So today we have a really good one, and
We're pumped.
I'm super excited because I know there's a lot of things happening with the Facebook that everybody's like, do a podcast about that. But I think those are more like quick tips. So I'll have some quick tips that we're going to be adding over the next few weeks in terms of like the new Facebook stuff.
The Facebook
stuff. I know there's changes, like they're rolling out a bunch of new things. There's been a lot of changes to how they're delivering pages. There's a whole bunch of updates that happened. I've been like dealing with emails and questions from people that are like, I just got like 35 friend requests. Like, why did that happen? And there's some security changes that happened. And if you are one of the lucky ones, you got things changed on your profile and you really didn't realize it happened. So, so we've been talking a lot about specific social media channels, and today I wanted to talk about I get these questions all the time. There's a lot of people who are they have blogs and they don't know what to do with them, or they want to like update the content on their websites and they're not really sure what to do. And there's a lot of resources on the internet where you can like Google.
Is there?
There's
a lot of resources on the internet?
You're not letting me finish. I thought. No, I don't know what I was going to say.
Oh, did I get you off track?
Yeah, thanks.
I'm sorry.
So you might be Googling things and trying to figure out like how you should do things or what you should do. So basically today we're going to talk about 10 actionable goals for better content marketing. And so content marketing is everything. It's social media, it's websites, it's blogs. Everything is content marketing. So we'll just clear that up real quick.
Got it. Cleared up.
Because I think people are like, oh, content marketing. What is it? What does that mean?
Dude, content is king.
But it's everything. Like, it's not just one thing anymore.
Right.
We used to like go through and it was like content marketing was your website and your blog.
Right.
But it's expanded into everything because everything is content.
Yes.
And you can go back and forth and you can embed your Facebook posts, you can embed your Twitter posts, you can embed your Pinterest posts. You can take everything from your social channels and put it onto your website or your blog. And it's really funny. This sort of came out of conversations that we've been having with a lot of people who are now clients who have had issues with their websites. And we've had to come in and, well, you've had to come in. I just sit there
I feel like the A-team. Got to come in and rescue somebody.
They're like, I click on the contact us button and the page doesn't exist.
Oh, yes.
But then it's like, but wait, we have a contact page, but how do we fix that? So there's a lot of things that we've been doing, and this is kind of sort of the culmination of all of the things that we've been asked to do over the last few weeks. And it sucks that people don't just say like, I'm not a web designer.
Nope.
I
can do all the things.
I'm a graphic designer, but I don't do websites.
Right.
And those are two different things.
Or team up.
Yeah.
Find somebody who actually does know how to do that.
And then like sell your services like as a bundle.
Right.
That'd be like ideal. But so today we're going to talk about 10 actionable goals for better content marketing. So these are actually, it's a checklist that you can create based off of just listening to us, or, if you want it, I'll send it to you. But so a lot of businesses are using blogs and websites, but one of the things that they're not doing is keeping the content fresh.
Yes.
Yes. Oh,
I thought you were going. I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, they're not keeping the content fresh.
Right.
And that's where we end up offering like extended services like maintenance and management, and then content creation, which ends up being something that helps in terms of like the Google gods.
The Google gods.
Right? The Google gods. It was something I was thinking of the other day when I was like, like the Google gods. You can't see them. You don't realize they're there, but they're watching your website.
Well, the thing is, this content is the reason people might go to your website or go to your whatever channel it is. And if you don't have it, it's like having a refrigerator that's empty. You know, you go in, you open it up, there's nothing in there. You're never going back to that refrigerator.
Right. Or if it's the only refrigerator you have, you hopefully will come back to it.
I'm just saying.
But the only way to fill that refrigerator is to go shopping and put stuff in there.
Correct.
Which is like keeping up with your content marketing.
Yes.
All right, we're done. We're finished.
All
That's
right.
it.
Well,
All right, we're finished. Everybody's good.
That's 1 through 10 right there.
That's 1 through 10. Go to the grocery store and buy food. Put it in your refrigerator. But the questions we get a lot when we're putting together a website is like, okay, so we've done the website. What do we do after this? And most of the time people don't realize, our clients don't realize that there's things that come after the website's done that need to keep it in shape, if you will, right? To keep it rolling. So I established a checklist. I put this together based on all of the things that we talk about when we're launching a website and the things that we either help our clients with or we guide them to doing themselves. Because a lot of times we work with people who do have in-house marketing teams, or they have somebody who's savvy and smart that knows their brand and their business and what they're doing better than we do. And that's perfectly all right, but we're happy to guide them in the right direction to make sure that they're creating the content that's going to keep their website in the good graces of the Google. So one of the first things you want to do before you even get started is establishing and matching the tone with your social marketing. So a lot of people will start with social media, and then they're like, I need a website.
Right.
And then their website is like super professional. And their social media is like kind of personal and matches who they are and is fun and engaging, but the website doesn't reflect the two. Like they don't match each other. So when we're writing, like when I write blogs or when I write emails or when I write anything that's going to go out, it's in the voice of our brand, of our business. It's kind of kitschy. It's kind of funny. It's kind of like off the cuff and snarky. And that matches with the social. So the social and the website and all the content marketing matches the same tone. So all your brand writing should be the same. So if you're having one person write it, if you're writing it, sit down and establish what your tone is going to be for everything. So if you're already writing a certain way for your social media, or you already have a certain type of tone for your website, just mirror and match it.
Yes.
Yes, see, he agrees. One of the things, if you're looking to put together blog posts, write about news when it's fresh and your audience is looking for it. Probably one of the easiest things that we both do is look on a daily basis at what's happening in the news.
Yes.
Yes.
What, Feedly?
Feedly.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll both look at, and I don't mean like what's happening politically. No one cares. It's not a big deal.
It's just depressing.
Yeah.
and Apple News just keeps like insisting on sending me news and stuff, and I'm like, stop. How do I turn it off?
I just don't want to hear about it anymore. I don't care. Yeah. I mean, look at the news of what's fresh in your world. Like right. The world for us is social marketing, content marketing, digital marketing, websites, graphic design, media. So I have, and we both have Feedly, and I use a couple other tools sometimes. It depends. Like I have Pocket, which is cool. There's a lot of different apps that you can use. And just when you get up in the morning while you're having your coffee, take a look at what's happening, what's fresh. So we work with a lot of different realtors and nonprofit organizations. And it depends on what the brand is. So like we have Nook Real Estate is a very niche-y brand, and they're very specific about the kinds of things that they like to share. So I have very specific blogs that I read to look and see what's hot and fresh for them for that specific day or the next couple of days. And then I decide how I'm going to present that for them. Same thing for us. If I'm looking at whenever I'm putting together the podcasts, and podcasts fall under content marketing. Surprise, surprise. When I'm putting together the podcasts, I look at what is like in Feedly. It'll say like, here's the top posts for the week. or the day, and I'll look at those and I'll see if it's something that can relate to, our audience can relate to, or if you guys are like interested in it. Or I will look for things that might be cool that you guys are looking or interested in learning more about. I get a lot of questions via email and Facebook Messenger. So you definitely want to make sure that you're writing about news when it's fresh. And that also helps with Google. It's just like on Facebook with trending topics. Whenever you're looking for hashtags or things that are relevant, especially when you're looking at those holidays like National Pie Day.
Yes, Pie Day.
What are you doing?
I'm making notes of things you mentioned.
He's over there making notes. It's good. No, that's good. He's playing with his new iPad.
Yes.
Is what he's doing.
New iPad. I like it.
Da, da. But so you definitely want to make sure that you're taking advantage of potential traffic through searches for stuff that's relevant. So if people are searching for, the best Facebook apps or the best Instagram tools, you want to take advantage of those types of things. So you might, if you're, let's say, you're, a marketing expert or a real estate person, you can take advantage of like, my top 5 Instagram apps I use for real estate.
Yes.
Bam. There you go. Go write that blog. Let's see. The next thing on the list is start strong and with a solid introduction. So this is when you're writing, let's say, a blog post, or you're putting together content for a page on your website. One of the things that you want to take advantage of is making sure that you're catching their interest right off the bat. When you're, let's say, okay, so Nate, when you're reading something, when is it usually that they lose you? If like it's not interesting?
Right away. I mean, like maybe I'll commit maybe 2 paragraphs.
Right. So but I think that's the general consensus
right.
Is if I get through the first paragraph, okay, you got me kind of, and then if I get through the second paragraph and then I'm like, I still don't know where this is going. I'm probably going to click away.
They'll get you with the title, and then, after that, it's up to the content. That'll grab me. But
right. So that's the other thing is, start strong with a solid introduction. So make it super clear. And I go back to like I'm teaching the monkey about writing things. So he's got this like essay he has to do on like a person from like the Civil War period. And so one of the things I've been trying to teach him is that you want to give an overview of what you're going to talk about and why it's important in the first couple of paragraphs and what the end result is going to be. It goes back to like basic grade school writing.
Right.
You want to engage your audience and have them interested in what you're going to be providing them in the next few paragraphs. So whether that's a blog post or it's your about page or it's your services page, you want to catch them right away with a really strong introduction. And that goes too with your Facebook posts or your Instagram. Whatever you're doing, you want to make sure that they're catching their interest right away so that they're stopping to either click on the link to go to your website or they're liking it or they're clicking on that little save button for later so that they can come back to it. Because one of the cool things is that Facebook will remind you if you've saved posts. So every once in a while, Facebook goes, hey, you saved this. Did you want to look at it? And then I'll go like, I did? What did I save? So it reminds you to come back to it. So one of the things I've been starting to do is when I'm putting up Facebook posts, I'll say like, hey, save this for later. And people actually save things for later. So do that because it also plays into that whole like Facebook suggesting stuff or like putting your things in the feed more often. So your organic reach is definitely increased. This one's important. Stop trying to sell hard in your content. No one wants to be pitched to on a regular basis.
Right.
Stop it. I actually had somebody who asked me if I would look at their content that they were putting together for their website. And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And it was really, really cool. Like the first, and then it was like, oh God, this whole thing is just like one big long sales pitch. And the thing is that we are an online consumer world now. Like, we are a consumer nation
Right.
that does like 75% of consumers are buying things online. There's still that like tiny little 25% that's like, I need to go to the store and touch it. But the majority of us are Amazon Prime members, or Target now offers free shipping for pretty much everything. So yay, Target.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's also that, like, you know, you can order stuff and pick it up at the store. But if you're looking to engage potential clients on your website, whether it's your blog or the different pages, avoid the hard sell. Like, you definitely do not want to get people turned off because they catch you in the sell. Obviously, like, you want to provide them with valuable information that places you as the subject matter expert, but you don't want them to go like halfway through and then go like, gosh, I wasted all of my time, because now it's just like, I have to buy, or this was pointless. Okay, this was pointless and I'm never coming back to this website again.
Correct.
How many times do we do that though? Like with tools and stuff, when we're like,
It's too many to count.
there's too many to count. There's a lot of social media tools that have blogs attached to them. And like, I get so irritated when it's basically like, this is just one big long pitch about why I should use your tool. And it's funny because like I generally have found a lot of them to be helpful, but there's so many times that I get something in my email and it's like, how to increase your Instagram like sales traffic, this, and then it's like halfway down the blog post, it's like, click here to buy. And it's like, no, you had me for like the last like 10 minutes. I was reading intently and I was like, yes, this is great. And then it's like,
You got fooled.
I totally just got hustled into reading like six paragraphs
Of
just
sales
of
content.
fluff. Like, it's fluff. It's nothing. Like, there's nothing important here. So definitely incorporate, you know, your expertise, your awesomeness, why you should be the person that they use or the tool that they use or the app that they download. But don't just spend all your time pitch. So far, we're talking today about the 10 actionable goals for better content marketing. We have covered, before we take a break, we've covered establishing and matching your tone with your social. So make sure that everything sounds the same. Write about news when it's fresh. So don't write about something that's like 3 months old, obviously. Make sure that it's relevant. Even if it is 3 months old, make sure it's relevant that you're writing about it. Start with a strong and solid introduction on all of your pages in your blog. You want to make sure you catch people's attention and get them engaged and really want to understand why you're the best possible person to, sell their house, run their social marketing, put their website together, whatever it is you're doing. And then stop trying to sell hard in your content. So we're going to talk about the rest of this checklist that I put together, and there's a lot, and then hopefully Nate will join in the conversation. So just sitting here,
you're going,
sitting here playing with his new toy.
I'm making notes of stuff to make sure we include in the notes. So
Anyway, so sit back, relax. We'll be back shortly. Go grab yourself a drink, and mimosas, whatever. I don't know. It's middle of the week.
Get in the trunk.
Get in the trunk if you're driving. If it's lunchtime, just sit there. I don't care. Anyway, we'll be back right after this with more Social Life Podcast. Welcome back to the Social Life Podcast. I hope you guys are sober enough to pay attention to the rest of this list. I think Nate's going to join me.
Maybe.
It might take away his iPad. I'm not sure. because he's like, I'm taking notes.
Maybe.
And I think he's just really
Whoa, what are you
excited.
doing?
I don't know. I'm like breaking
things.
things over here. So
Can't
far,
dress you up and take you anywhere.
I know. I'm so sorry. We're talking about the 10 actionable goals for better content marketing. We already covered content marketing is everything. Everything is content marketing. Content marketing is king, blah, blah, blah. So you want to make sure, first and foremost, that you're establishing and matching your tone. Write about things that are relevant when they're relevant. Start strong with your writing and always with a solid introduction. And just stop with the hard sell in your content marketing.
Buy my stuff.
Stop it. Stop it now. So moving on, we do have some more stuff, a lot of stuff on the list. Use calls to action and ask questions of your audience. So that's, just basically like, engage with them and say like, learn more about us here. You want to do those internal links, right? The internal linking to your different pages. You can do that with calls to action. You can do that with asking questions. Are you interested in learning more about this subject? Or read previous blog posts or listen to our previous podcast or check out what we did here with this listing or look at this event. A lot of those things end up keeping people on your website for longer periods of time.
Right.
And that's just basically the goal.
It's good for SEO too.
You don't want people to click on something from your Facebook, go to your website, and then go like, okay, this is crap, and then close it.
I say this out loud. This is crap.
This is crap. And I do sometimes. I'm like, what is this? No, stop. It's horrible. So let me just, I have to open this link here because I wanted to give examples, and this other thing has really good examples of what I'm about to say. So you also want to include things in your content marketing. So let's say you're writing a blog post. There is something in content writing that is called the bucket brigade. And it's really funny because I learned about this ages ago and I didn't realize it was still a thing. So I'm very excited that it's still a thing and that it's still called the same thing because I don't call it anything. So examples of this would be, here's the deal. What's the bottom line? You might be wondering, this is crazy. It gets better. It gets worse. But here's the kicker. Want to know the best part. So those things are basically like what you would use sort of like halfway through a blog post or halfway through a page or halfway through a paragraph where you're talking about something relevant. You want to make sure that you're putting all these leading things into your content that keeps people guessing.
So what's the deal with this name though?
What's the deal with the name?
Bucket Brigade.
Bucket Brigade.
I was watching this show called America's Secret Slang. It's great. It goes over all the different just words we use that, egg on your face.
Yeah,
I want to know this.
I have to figure out where it came. I'll look it up and then I'll explain it in the show notes. I'm not exactly sure where it came from. I probably should have had that prepared. But I learned about it in
Maybe that'll be our blog.
One of my first content marketing workshops that I did, probably 6 or 7 years ago. And I didn't even realize it was still called anything. But they're basically leading questions. And I'm not sure where the name Bucket Brigade came from. But I think it has something to do with leading people but I don't know. We'll find out.
So you don't know.
I've never done the research on it, but I've heard dozens of people use the term and I've never looked it up. So.
All right.
Which is not like me.
We're going to be. Now we have a goal.
It's kind of bizarre. I didn't ever look it up. Anyway, so you want to use these types of things. So calls to actions, leading questions, asking questions, those types of things within your content. You have to be thoughtful about it. Just be thoughtful about what you're doing and what you're writing because people will look back to your blog or your website for tips and information. So keep that aware. Give facts that make sense and are reusable. So if I find something on a blog, I will share it on my social media. If it's something that's the facts are solid, if it relates to something that my client is doing or my client has done or good information for the client's followers, you want to make sure that whatever you're putting out there, it stands out in a crowd type of deal. So good, solid facts. So do your research. There is nothing wrong with taking extra time to put a blog post together or a social media calendar. What?
I'm just thinking Anchorman. 80% of the time, it works every time.
Every time. But I think that's like one of the things. That's actually a good example. That movie took a really long time for them to make. There's nothing wrong with taking extra time. If you have to do a little extra research or you have to do some fact checking, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you provide facts and information to people, they generally will come back to see if you have something else. Or if they're like me, they'll stick it in their Feedly and like read it on a regular basis.
Subscribe to the RSS feed.
Right. And so I have like for all the different clients, like we have one that's a dating site. I have like 5 blogs I always share content from because they're funny, they're engaging, they offer tips and facts and things that are relatable. And they every once in a while throw in something that's like kind of like, what? That's really like, that could either be really offensive or really hilarious. So I love it. I'm going to share it. So, you know, we have a lot of people who ask us, you know, is it okay to, you know, ride the line? But if you follow your gut, follow your gut.
Ride the line.
Ride the line, but follow your gut. Don't jump over the line and then go like, yeah, that was really bad. I shouldn't have done that.
Well, it depends if it's your personality. So you got kind of a...
Well, and who your audience is.
Right.
Because it's like, yes, your personality, but like, who's your audience?
Right.
Like...
what you're going for.
Yeah. Like, I don't... Yeah. Yeah. Be careful. Tread lightly. Anyway.
I'm glad we got video now because you get all the nuances of you. You can take it in. Like I think if they were listening to just the audio, some of your pauses would sound awkward because there's no sound.
Did she go anywhere?
But if you watch the video, it totally makes sense.
Right. Because I make funny faces.
So we have video now too.
Oh yeah, there's video. So if you want to see what we look like, we don't look like the cartoon. I promise. We look like real people. So you want to make sure you give facts. I mean, you're going to have to input on this. So include performance boosting images. So talk about it.
Performance boosting images.
So why would somebody want to include an image? Why is that important, and how should they do it?
Well, I mean, first off, you got the SEO part.
SEO, which is somebody said that to me the other day on the phone. I'm just interested in finding out more about SEO. And I was like, what's SEO? What is SEO? And then it dawned on me. SEO. Okay, carry on.
Nice. Well, we have a client right now, and we're working on a script, and there's a thing called the CUP, which is conditional use permit. And it goes in the script, and I'm like, they're going to read it as cup.
But that's how he wants it read.
Cup?
Yeah.
He wants them to say cup?
Yes.
All right, whatever.
Okay, come on.
Anyways.
Images. Come on, Nate.
Well, first off, you got the SEO aspect. Make sure you're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, people are visual. You're not going to be able to grab them into your content unless you have a good image that makes sense. And, you know.
Okay, but the back end stuff, like talk about that.
Oh, well, if they're using WordPress, then they need to make sure they have a title, make sure that they have a description that's in the back end that goes along with their content. Mm-hmm.
You don't just throw a picture on there, folks.
Yeah.
Not just any picture.
And don't lift one off the Google.
Don't steal them.
Just go there. You can go on to deposit photos or
I have
iStock, and you know a bunch of ones you get free images that you're not going to get mixed.
I have a bunch of free resources.
All right.
I have somebody sent me a PDF, if you will. And I have a bunch of free resources. So if you're looking for free stock photos, the only thing I do say is that a lot of them ask for donations to help support the artist. Just give them like $1. Like, it's not that big a deal. But they don't charge you like as much as some of the stock photo sites. But donations to the artists are pretty that's.
I think if you're going to be consistently putting out content and you need images, I mean, I recommend Deposit Photo. If you don't, you know, they have a real good selection, and they get a lot of the stuff that's on Shutterstock and iStock are also on Deposit Photo, and a lot of times you can get a package where you pay like $50 and you get like 50 credits, so you're basically just paying in advance, and you can just get those images. So that's a pro tip.
Yeah. Pro tip. All right. So those images are really good because not only is it, like Nate said, it's good engaging content. Like people like to look at pictures. Pictures are pretty. but it also helps with the Google machine. So make sure that you're doing some sort of image if you're writing a blog post. If you're putting together a website, please put pictures, like relevant images. Just please. I don't want to just sit there and look at like words for days.
Put something on there.
Anyway. Make the content you're putting on your website interactive with items like polls or questions. So a lot of times what you can do is create an audience and gather emails for your sales funnel. That's where this was going to go. That's where this was going. If you're putting things together like polls or asking a question, then you can say like, thanks so much for participating. And then like they put in their email. And then the next thing you know, you've got emails into your CRM or your MailChimp or whatever you're using. And then you can drip them and say, your next email to them is, thanks for participating in the poll on my blog. I wanted to send you this past blog post or podcast, or don't forget to follow us on social media if you're looking for more tips, tricks, and ideas on how to blah, 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 blah. So make the content interactive and ask questions. It also helps you to gauge what your audience is thinking, what they're looking for. And then it also helps you for your advertising to develop your audience that you're going to advertise to. So you can ask them questions. I mean, I have suggested this to, real estate agents, business owners, nonprofit organizations, and you can see who's really paying attention to what you're doing. And it'll help you develop those audiences in the future. And then mix it up with your content formats. So basically what that means is you don't want to just stick to one thing. So get good at blogging or writing about your industry or whatever you're doing. And then maybe you put together something else. Maybe you do an infographic. And then that's your next thing. You start honing that and you'll add like an infographic to your content marketing. Maybe you do one a quarter and you get those in there and you get them solid. Then like we did, let's see, we've got this podcast.
Correct.
That you guys listen to.
Or watch. We have video now.
But you want to make sure that you're expanding the type of content you're doing. So writing, podcasting, infographics, creating different types of like, maybe you do video. There's all different kinds of things that you can do. And all of the content that you create, whether it's Facebook Live or it's something podcast or Twitter Live, it's all reusable onto your blog or your website. So remember that whatever you're doing in terms of your content, you can use it again later. And then make sure the last couple things, just make sure that you're always keeping an eye on those results. I didn't add this to the list, but one of the things that I think people forget is that you're the whole goal of this when you're creating a website, when you're creating a blog, when you're putting together your content marketing is to build the sales funnel. So make sure that when you're doing all of these things, and I'm going to review them real quick, when you're doing all of these things that you're keeping track of what you're spending, what your return on your investment is, what kinds of things you can and cannot afford. Don't just go out there and like, I'm going to spend all the money. Because that's one of the things that we end up hearing from people is like, well, I went and did all of this stuff, but it doesn't work. And so now I need a new website. How much does that cost? Or I need a social media strategy, but I don't have any money because I spent it all. So be mindful of what you're putting together. And let's run through this checklist one more time, and then we'll see if Nate has anything to add. Make sure you're establishing and matching the tone of your writing with all of your marketing, social media, website, blog. Make sure you're writing and posting about things that are fresh and relevant to your audience. Start off with a strong introduction in all of your writing. So I love to write for other people. I hate to write for us for some reason. It's just so I generally feel your pain when people are saying like I don't know what to write for myself. I feel you. I don't either. Stop trying the hard sell. I think that's one of the things that a lot of different sales oriented like real estate or like real estate always comes back to it. Like it's always real estate for us because it's in my niche mind. Don't do the froyo. Yeah, don't hard sell that froyo because people genuinely will want to interact with you if they feel like you have something to offer. Use calls to action and ask questions. Use those bucket brigades, and I will have an informational update on where that came from. Make sure that you give facts that make sense and are reusable in social media. So if it makes sense, if it's relevant, people will post about it. And give facts. Give facts. Include performance boosting images. Nate talked about why that's important. It's good for the Google machine. They like images. They crawl them, right? It's called they crawl them.
Yes, that is a technical
They
term.
haven't changed the terms.
Spiders. Or bots. They call them Google bots, too.
Make the content interactive with items like polls or questions, and then mix up your content formats. So do a video, write a blog, share images. One of the things that's like super popular forever and ever and ever is images with those like quotes over it.
Yes.
People love that stuff. I get requests for that all the time.
Really?
I want some more of this inspirational quotes.
Inspirational quotes.
Can I get some inspirational quotes from you? And I feel like, okay. Do you have any in mind that you want me to share? Because I could just go look for.
Just go Abraham Lincoln. Everyone loves Abe.
Oh my gosh. Abe Lincoln. What's the one? Oh God. What's the other one? Oh, Maya Angelou.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. MLK.
She says anything. It's like,
oh, my God. She says it's like gold. Inspiration gold.
Put it over flowers.
Oh, my gosh. Put it over flowers or like a thoughtful picture of someone thinking. And everybody's like, I like it 100 times. I'm going to unlike it and like it again. I'm going to unlike it and like it again. Like, why is it? I had that happen actually the other day where it was like it had like notifications that 10 people liked it. And I clicked on it and it was like, there's one person. So I was like, did they just like it and unlike it and like it and unlike it? I don't know what they did. Anyway.
They were just click, 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 click.
So we have been talking about the 10 actionable goals for better content marketing. If you have questions, comments, or concerns, you can always find us on social media at Stark Social for Instagram and Twitter, on Facebook at facebook.com/StarkSocial. If you are like totally confused about what to do now that I've what is it? Like Mike always says to me after we're done with the webinar, if I've just like made your brain explode.
Oh, Mike Bjorkman.
Yeah,
our buddy.
Mike Bjorkman. You can always email me, hello@starksocial.com with your questions. And if you put podcast in the subject line, I will make sure to reply back to you and not delete it. So we will be talking next time about boosting your online business presence in under an hour a week.
Ooh.
I'm
pumped.
I'm really excited about this one because it takes what we just talked about and it just like expands on it. Expands. So don't miss the next one. Make sure you watch the video and see all the funny faces I make. This is the Social Life Podcast. Don't forget to download our app, our mobile app on Droid and Apple. Mostly Apple. I'm not sure what the other one, whatever has phones. But anyway, we'll be back next time with more Social Life Podcast. And I think that'll do her. Go grab a drink. Cheers. Big ears.
Yes.